That's emergency. EMR power. You should just check it, make sure that we have EMR power. Battery on. 24 volts minimum. Normally we'd start the gyros, but I'm not going to do that today.
Yeah.
So
your throttles are right back and locked.
Throttle's right back and locked, but on this one's kind of tricky because you could go like this.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they're not in cutoff.
Yeah.
So what we do is pound them from the bottom.
Yeah.
So they're in cutoff.
Yeah.
So now I'm looking. Number 2, clear. Button, ignition. Or actually just N1's coming up, 8%. Temperature will rise. These are really cool starting engines. High idle for the next one takes up to 52%. Generator comes online automatically, so sorry.
Okay.
It's generally you don't have to wait. We have a lead acid battery here. Generally you don't have to wait for the second engine to start. Some of the night cans you got to wait for 50% of the load to come down. But we have 300 amp generators, but lead acids they say you don't have to wait. So same situation. Second side, ignition button on, and you can't really tell, but the right hand generator is also igniting here.
Yeah.
Or lighting up. So there's 8%. Ignition light comes on. Now 38% everything will cut out. Generators are online. Now they become electrical power instead of drawing power.
Yep.
That's essentially it.
And the throttles have moved off that bottom lock, or you've got them up from there then, just for like at idle now?
This is idle.
Okay, yep.
Like if I punch them from the bottom, now they go up, right?
Yep, yep.
So now they're at flight idle or whatever.
Okay.
And then to shut down, I'll show you how that goes in a second. So, avionics power on. Normally, for this little short trip, I wouldn't do it, but
oh yeah.
and then for our operation, we'll just usually wait for the gyros to finish spooling, and once it all spools up, you get like the ladder bars on the horizon and stuff, eh? Takes a bit of time.
Now the two different RPMs here.
Okay, this is fan speed, so when you look in the front of the engine, you have the big fan. Basically, it's just a really tiny propeller with like I don't know how many blades are on there, but this is what this is measuring is the fan speed, and it's a two-part engine. This is the engine core.
Yeah.
So, and it's only about maybe 10 inches wide and about 2 feet long itself, and it drives the fan itself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing as a PT6, except we don't have gears on the fan. It's just direct drive from the power turbine. So this is the engine core. This is the fan speed here.
Okay.
So when we're flying, we're usually looking at N1 speed here, and it changes depending on relative humidity and pressure and stuff like that.
Sure.
N2, it doesn't vary a whole lot. A couple of percent here and there, but you really see this moving. And then the tapes, they're pretty accurate here. Our fuel flow, this one kind of fluctuates, but the tapes, they're pretty accurate. 5,800 pounds of fuel on the airplane. And we have gone 5.5 hours in the air and landed with 1,000 pounds of fuel. But we had to bring our N2 or N1 here back down about 91%. Normal cruise is around 99%, 98, 99%.
Yeah.
So, and then we do usually the FMS. So we punch that in. Just tells us where we are.
And this is inertial or GPS or what?
It's a combination of LORAN and GPS, but it's mostly GPS. Right?
Okay.
We've taken the LORAN out of it because it always comes up with an error message on us.
Oh, really?
When we're flying, we'll get like an LCS message.
Yeah.
So we'll just go back and take it out of there, and then it doesn't have to try and compare the two signals.
Yeah.
It just goes on straight GPS.
Oh, and there's the first time I've seen our new ident on a nav. You're gonna ask me something.
No, I was just gonna say we were lost because we went down to Atlanta and we're talking like, you know what? NS7 isn't coming up on any flightplan.coms or anything like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like, well, what the hell? So I did the identifier search for Kincardine, Ontario, and it comes up as CYKM. I'm like, that's wrong. What the hell, eh? So, and then I looked and it's like, yeah, shit. Well, congratulations, guys, you moved up in the world.
Well, that was just it. We were getting complaints from some of the U.S. base charter guys that some of their, I don't know whether it's with ICAO information or what, but it's just the CY stuff is more readily identifiable or something with them, and
it's easier for CY, but sometimes, like even when we go back home from the States, a lot of times they don't even know where Saskatoon is.
Oh, really?
They'll say, check your identifiers, like, yeah, Charlie Yankee X-ray Echo.
Yeah.
Is that just a waypoint or is that an airport? It's an international airport.
Yeah.
Do you have the coordinates? So we have to get the coordinates
and
tell
God.
them. So yeah, it's kind of a bizarre thing. So anyway, so yeah, we just kind of enter that and then we make a flight plan, go back, enter CYKM, and I'll just show you CYXE because that's what we're doing. And now I go select, enter, nav, Saskatoon, auto sequencing, enter, and now it'll draw a line on here for me. It takes a few seconds.
Yeah. So the database for this, is that something you're responsible for updating, or your maintenance people do it, or you're? Well, I mean, ultimately you're responsible for checking it's the up-to-date one, right?
Yeah, ultimately we're responsible. The funny thing about this thing is we have to take a panel in the back here off.
Oh, really?
There's a patch cord with a bunch of Canon plugs on it, and it plugs into this toaster-sized box, and we have little 3.5-inch floppy disks. We got to install 3.5-inch floppy disks. It takes about an hour to update the database on this thing. So as whiz-bang as this is, it's almost archaic in a way that that sort of works.
Yeah, yeah.
So, anyways, I'll just move over here. And it's pretty quiet in here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm surprised.
You stand outside and I would see people just grimacing in pain. How's that side?
Good. Yeah, it's King Air. You'd be yelling right now.
Yeah. I've got about 7,000 hours in King Air, so I know the feeling. So now shutdown, avionics goes off.
Yep.
Inverter's off. Master warning, just have a inverter fail, and then one at a time, make sure we don't have a temperature spike. And now they're in cutoff and I can't move them.
Now, why would you get a temperature spike on shutdown?
There maybe not a temperature spike, but there might be something happening in the engine that won't allow it to shut down.
Okay.
And if I shut them both down and this one keeps turning for some reason, then at least I have generator power.
Yeah. Okay.
Like if I had a stuck starter relay.
Okay.
Or some kind of electrical problem in the tail.
Yep.
Then at least I have generator power where I can keep running that engine on generator or restart it if I have to.
Sure.
And then shut down or go and disconnect the battery and try and troubleshoot it from there. So
cool. Thank you.
That's it. It's a pretty simple little airplane to start and run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And quiet.
Very quiet up here, yeah.